All right, my friends, welcome to episode 219 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry at Prof Plays Games on Twitter. Over there is Anthony the Dev at Summer Speak. And what a weekend for my fantasy football. Not so much for my sleep. 4:30 in the morning has been our wake-ups, and I'm very tired.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Ooh-wee. It gets better someday, I'm sure, but...
Maybe.
Maybe she's just an early riser. My wife, when she was a kid, would wake up early too and just could not go back to sleep. But the key difference is she would lay there and just be quiet, as opposed to my daughter who screams at the top of her lungs, "Mommy, Daddy, where are you?"
Sleeping is where we're at.
Oh, kid. I love you, but ooh.
Go back, just chill. Honestly, that might change a little bit once no longer in a crib.
Yeah. They can get up and do stuff.
You can give them all right, if you're up early, that's fine. You can get up. You can go look at books or play with toys or whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
But when they're still trapped in the crib, and I assume she doesn't climb out of the crib herself.
That's why she's still in the crib, because she has never attempted.
Okay.
First time she does, we're done.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
Because we're, she's almost 2.5 years old now.
I know, that's why I'm kind of that's odd.
Yeah.
That's because she's probably big enough to if she wanted to.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we have friends who have a kid who's the same age who's still in the crib as well. And we have kids who got out of a crib when they were 1 because they were already climbing out. So
Yep. So, that's more of the thing of well, when that happens, might be able to make things a little different. She won't feel trapped, basically.
Yeah.
But then she can just wander into your room and say, "Hey, I'm awake."
I know, that's the other thing that we've been talking about. And I was like, we'll just put a lock on the outside of the door. And my wife was like, "No, we're not.
No, you don't do that."
I'll tell her that you said no. I told her, after we give her 10 warnings just so she knows we're going to lock it, she's like, "No, we're not doing that."
Oh, I can just imagine the psychological trauma of that.
That's exactly what my wife said. So fuck you for agreeing with my wife. I knew she was right, but goddammit.
Just think of the therapy fees you're saving yourself later in life.
Yes, this is true. This week we are not talking about children. We are actually talking about some Patreon supporters topics. Basically, my experience with Stadia, kind of falling into a supporter's question about, will Google be supporting this product, in 4 years, 5 years or so, and what does it look like with them supporting it or not? How will it evolve and change over time? Also, if we were locked in a room somewhere, what kind of games would we want to have with us? So we each selected 5. And then just talk about my experience with Stadia and probably your experience finishing Jedi Fallen Order.
Yep.
So kind of want to start with my experience with Stadia. I don't know if I had it last time we were on the podcast.
No, you hadn't got it yet.
Okay. My brain is pretty fuzzy right now. So got it, and actually before it shipped, when it shipped, before I got it, they emailed a code. And once you had the code, I think I talked about it last time, you could use a controller. So I hooked up my Xbox controller to my laptop, and it was just awesome. Sitting on my couch playing Destiny 2 through a Chrome browser. It was flawless. And I know my internet is super fast. It's 200 megabits.
Yes, it's 5 times faster than mine.
But it was seamless, and it just loads quick. I can sit there and play on the couch. It was great. And unfortunately, I got sucked into Destiny 2 pretty quickly because the Stadia Pro has Forsaken and Shadowkeep. So I'm able to play the DLC campaigns that I couldn't play because I didn't buy them for other platforms. So, great around the house. That's I'm probably going to use it around the house probably half the time. But I really got it for when I'm out at the cafe or whatever, my favorite tea shop. So I knew we were podcasting tonight, so I went out during my daughter's nap and brought my laptop and my controller and sat down in my favorite tea shop and played, and it was awesome. There was only one small hiccup. The internet speeds there were pretty fast too. It was 100 down.
Yeah, that was
fast enough.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Honestly, my internet at usually is around 40, 45. Download would be enough, likely.
Well, and they gave me a 3-month Stadia Pro code to give to a friend, but I don't know where that code is. But as soon as I find it,
you haven't got it yet. So we can talk about this later, because you can go through all the stuff that you've been playing and your thing, because there's a bunch of stuff that is just not ready to go yet with it. That people have actually been complaining about, and one of those things is that code. They don't have those yet. No one has them. They have not sent them out. they promised them, they're not out yet. Like,
right,
there's a ton of not even half done, undone features.
Right.
That clearly they were trying to have, but just aren't there at the moment. And
it felt like a rough launch for sure, because people didn't even get their setups, didn't get their codes for themselves emailed. This controller is supposed to be midnight blue. It's fucking black. It's a
dark navy.
It is super, super dark navy. Like,
sorry.
It is fucking black. I mean, the triggers are actually black, so it is less black than the triggers, but that doesn't make it blue. So that's my major complaint. But back to the T-Shop real fast.
Yeah.
Everything was fine. There was no loading. The resolution dropped once right at the beginning when I first loaded into the world, and then it stayed consistent the rest of the time. There was only one issue where I got to the end of the second mission of the Forsaken, and there was an enemy on the ridge, and I was running toward him, and as I was running toward him, enemies spawned, so he like set enemies to stop me from getting him or whatever. But my dude didn't stop going. He just kept jumping, moving forward, trying to jump up the cliff. I like let go of the controller, and he was just jumping, trying to get up the cliff. And I was like, is this a cutscene where like he's just making a mad scramble for this dude? No, it was just something was happening. Either my controller was sending false inputs or something. So I unplugged the controller, plugged it back in, and got control of my guy again. That was weird. It was really weird. I thought it was like the timing was such that it just felt like it was part of the game. But it ran well. Like it was, the Twitch shooting, like everything was, I didn't notice any input lag. I didn't notice any resolution drops, any lag. It just felt like I was playing Destiny 2 on my PS4 and I was out at a coffee shop.
That's cool.
That's all I need. I need it to work there. I need it to work at my house. I will say that I loaded up, went to stadia.com at school, plugged my controller in the PC just to see if it would work. It did not. It just kept checking connection and it would never load. So I'm not sure what that means about my school's connection or
I mean, that's the thing. You just don't know what with there at the school from your computer in your office to getting out to the internet. You have no clue what the network infrastructure is like at the school. How many firewalls you're going through, routings you're going through. Schools are notorious for all that. So much more complicated than just like a home network. So it's likely there's just something blocked, like a port or something that's just blocked on your school's network that would make it not play. Yeah, because I doubt it's a speed issue.
Okay, yeah, because my internet seems totally fast, so it's fine because I don't need to play it at school. I just wanted to see if it would work. We'd like to test it in a few different environments, but honestly, the tea shop and my house, my couch, those are the two places I'm going to play this thing, and it works on both of them. And I was just like, I can just bring my laptop and fucking play like a really high quality game. I love playing my Switch, obviously, but it's also cool to have this option. And then when Stadia launched, I was surprised that a lot of the games on the store weren't kind of at competitive pricing with other platforms. Like there was like Rage 2 is $60 when like Rage 2 right now is down to $30.
Wow.
But there were some that were on sale. For example, Exodus or Metro Exodus was on sale for $20. So I picked that up because I don't have it on another platform. So basically, it was the same price as on sale at other platforms. So I figured I'd have that as a Stadia game.
But this is not a subscription. I thought it was a subscription as well.
So there is a subscription. So with my subscription, it's like Xbox Live kind of thing, right? So I got Destiny 2, the collection, and then Samurai Showdown. Those are my two free games.
I see. You don't get them all.
Nope. Yeah,
it's not like Game Pass.
No, and I was slightly confused about that, even though I kind of knew it. I thought I would have access to more of the games, but no, you have access to the games that you get in your Pro subscription. So I assume it's going to be 2 a month, but I don't know that for sure. But the rest of them you can only play if you buy them. And
weird.
And I think that's where this falls down. And it kind of gets into our to Brad's questions, our supporters' questions about the longevity of this from Google. But I think it needs to transition into something like Game Pass, where it's just a subscription and you have access to X amount of games. And I don't know if they're willing to pay the devs that or the companies that or whatever, but I feel like logging in. Money. They do have the money, but yeah, logging in and seeing like a lot of those games, and it feels like it should be a subscription because I am doing a subscription,
Yeah, because I thought it was that you could do the subscription and get access to all the games on the platform. Right. Or you could say, I'm not doing a subscription, and I'm just buying the games that I want. I think that's what I thought it was. To know that I have a subscription, that gets me 2 games, and I still have to buy other games if they're not on this.
And And that's what I thought it was too, but it's not. The subscription is simply the 2 free games that you get, and I assume they're monthly, although I don't know. But for me right now, I mean, obviously the Pro, I have 3 months of Pro for free. It's $10 a month otherwise. I'm not sure if it'd be worth it $10 a month if you don't have access to like a group of games. But I would pay $10 a month right now to be playing Destiny because it's content I haven't played yet. Although once I'm through the campaign, I stick around.
I mean, I didn't.
Right. Did you play those campaigns?
I mean, I played through the base campaign and Forsaken. Right.
Oh, you did? You played through the Cade 6 is Dead campaign?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So then I just meant the
Did I do Forsaken? I don't know. I either played through what I had, and I was like, cool. And then I tried, I played a couple more days, and I was like, right. If I don't have something I'm pushing towards story-wise here, I really am not interested in just logging in to do dailies.
No, I have definitely not either. But the Forsaken storyline is pretty interesting, so I'm in for that. I'll probably play a little more after we get off tonight. It's compelling for me, which is unfortunate because I started Jedi Fallen Order and then got Stadia and wanted to check it out, and then got sucked into Destiny 2 again, and then went back to Jedi Fallen Order yesterday and emailed or texted you the dumbest question I've ever asked anyone about video games, which was, how do I fucking spend a skill point?
And I'm like, you've already spent skill point. I was looking at the screen, and I was like, those lines don't look right, for one. Like, they're darker and solid. But I'm like, you've spent points. Why can't you spend points? Because you forgot a key thing.
I did, and this is what my Brad always gets pissed at me about when I jump from game to game. I forgot how to play the damn thing, and you said you can only spend your skill points at a meditation circle. Are you at a meditation circle? And I obviously was not.
Yeah.
I was just chilling in a cave somewhere trying to spend points. So,
I'm trying to see
smart guy here.
Microsoft's xCloud stuff.
And I think that's where the promise is going to come through, because xCloud, you're going to have access to your Xbox library. And I have shit ton of games on my Xbox library. So if you have Xbox Game Pass on xCloud, that's it. Like, Google has to compete with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah. Is it going to be just bundled? Like, they haven't said pricing specifically, but I'm like, is it going to be bundled with, like, Xbox Ultimate? Basically, so, like, if you're an Ultimate, then you're just, like, Ultimate Game Pass. So I get all the Game Pass games, and I can just, stream them anywhere.
Right. That would make xCloud win for me, because I already have games. I already have a library, and I can just play those anywhere. So, moving into Brad's question here, does Google stick around? What does this look like what does the service look like in 4 years? Is Google still trying to get this going in 4 years? Or have they walked away like they've walked away from Orkut and all their other stuff?
I mean, I had brought up sometime last week a list of all the things Google has killed, like web apps and things. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, a lot of them I've never even heard of, but it's probably why they killed them. But I don't know. Did they keep this going any? I think, one, what did it ship? I was looking at won't have these features. It's, you can't stream your gameplay to other accounts right now.
What does that mean?
So, like, someone can watch you playing. Like how Steam, you can...
Oh, yeah. Got it.
They have none of that. No streaming.
Oh, because they talked about that, where you could see someone and just jump right in.
Yep. That doesn't work right now.
Okay.
Achievements are being tracked, but there's no way to see them. So they said sometime in late 2019. We're getting pretty close to late 2019.
We're a month from Christmas right now.
Supposedly, at some point, they'll update the UI, and you can see all the achievements that you might have earned.
Uh-huh.
But you have no way of actually seeing them right now.
That's interesting, because Destiny 2 is the only thing I've played, and Destiny 2 has in-game achievements. They're triumphs. So,
yep, they have their own in-game ones, but there should be an achievement system for Stadia that
I see.
Is in the background working, but again, no front-end user interface to see. Let's see. The codes haven't been sent out where you can have a buddy.
Right. Yeah, I'm waiting for that code, because there's a 3-month pro code that I can give you, and then you can just plug in an Xbox controller and see how it works.
Where is it? Yeah, you won't have Stream Connect, State Share, Crowd Play. No achievement system visible. Cannot use existing Chromecast Ultras to play games. No family sharing. No buddy passes yet. The Stadia controller for some people. It's like they're rolling out the Stadia controllers, because you got yours on... When did you get your controller?
21st.
What day was that?
Should have been Thursday, right?
Yeah, I assume a lot of people started getting them Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
But I know in a dev community I'm part of, about half the people still don't have their controllers.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, they had talked earlier about like not being able to get all the controllers out at the beginning, but then emphasizing you don't need it to start.
Exactly.
But that's weird.
It just seems rough. Like, there's just a chunk of missing features.
You know what else is weird? And I don't know if it's still on your list or not, but I cannot use the Stadia controller over Wi-Fi, except for with the Chromecast.
Correct. That's expected. I read somewhere that's an currently intended way of use.
That I can only use it wired with my laptop?
Yep.
That's weird.
Yep.
And I know they're going to switch it eventually, but why not launch with it? I mean, why not launch with a lot of the stuff, I guess?
Uh-huh. Because I think they were rushed for time, and they said that this was going to come out, and this is the stuff that gets cut.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. But why not wait? Like, why did they need to get it out for the holiday season?
I don't know. Because it's not like it's prevalent where you're going to be able to get these things.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not in stores or anything like that. There's only these editions. Oh, and the other thing that people were freaking out about was that the codes didn't come out on time.
Yeah.
When they said they would, so then people didn't get the names they wanted because other people had already snapped them up. Which is maybe not a small thing. Seems like a small thing, but
for some people, they'd be pretty sad to see like their username that they use everywhere taken.
Yeah, I got Anthony, so
exactly. I mean, I should have got one and just trolled you.
Oh my god, he would be Prof plays games. I was like, do I use my first name or do I just use my gaming name? I'm like, I should just keep it consistent. Get Prof plays games.
So,
but I get my founder's badge or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know in 4 or 5 years what this looks like. I think they have to figure out their storefront. Basically,
yeah.
I don't think if they're gonna keep it as like a more premium storefront like that, I don't think this exists in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I don't know if they kill it like straight up, or more just put it in like a sunset mode of being like, yeah, we're not adding any more games to it, no new features, but we keep it running so that people that have bought things keep their stuff.
Well, Brad brought something up that I thought was interesting. What's the possibility of this kind of not really going anywhere, and then them partnering with like Steam or something to like you use our tech to play your games from your Steam library?
I mean, it's possible.
Paying a nominal monthly fee.
I don't think it would be through Steam though. Steam wouldn't do it. Valve would just do it themselves.
Yeah. Which would be fantastic.
I mean, let's be honest. If they're going to do it, they would do it themselves.
Yeah.
Just as they're doing VR themselves. Because, shall we talk about the other big giant news?
Yeah, we should. Because actually,
like,
it'll be new for me. Because I didn't follow this news.
Half-Life Alyx. So
and what is that?
It is a VR-only Half-Life game that is not Half-Life 3. It is like Half-Life 1.5, where you play in VR as Alex Vance, who is... Do you know who Alex was?
No. I only played
Half-Life. In Half-Life 2, she's the like female main character.
Okay.
Of course, you're Gordon Freeman in those games, but you never say a word and you never see yourself. So,
right.
And that will never change. You're not really much of a character. It's you, the player. They're very clear in their design on that of being like, we don't want to give the player character a personality or anything.
I feel like the box art for Half-Life had a picture of a dude on it with a goatee.
It does. That's Gordon Freeman. That's all you ever see. You never see that in game. Ever.
Right.
But Alex Vance is like the main companion character throughout. Like, I mean, probably some of the best companion AI since, well before BioShock's Elizabeth.
Yeah.
But in this one, you play as her, in between the events of Half-Life and Half-Life 2. And look like it's your normal VR-ish game, like room space VR game, where you can walk, kind of move around a room a little bit, but you're standing in place, solving puzzles, grabbing things, shooting. You have to reload your guns by actually like VR ejecting the magazines, putting a new magazine in. Like, it's full-on VR game. It's 20 hours long.
Oh, wow.
So it's a substantial... it's going to be a meaty VR game.
When's this supposed to be coming out?
March, and I already own it.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Thank you, PopCap Code.
Oh, what? Oh, that's right.
My stupid code where I get every Valve game, and as soon as I went to the store page, because it's on Steam now, and it says, will be added to your in your library, will be unlocked March 2020.
Wow.
I'm like, well, cool. And here's the thing, their one like really big benefit here, you don't have to have Valve VR Index to use it. It works on all the PC VR headsets.
Oh, nice. I thought they would lock it to theirs.
There's a couple specific features if you have Index, but it's playable on Oculus or the Vive, all the current PC headsets. It's going to be playable on the Oculus Quest, which is the one that doesn't have cables. So no, they're not locking it.
Quest is already out, right?
It is out. Yeah, Oculus Quest is already out. So it's just usable on all this stuff. They're not. That's awesome. So, I mean, it's great on them. I'm like, cool. I have a Rift sitting downstairs. I guess I'll pull it out and play this when it comes out. I need to get controllers, though. You need hand motion controllers.
Yeah, because you got to do the firing and
the grabbing and things. And like, they show pictures of you, like, moving stuff on shelves to, like, search for things. And I mean, it could be really cool. I'm sad that it's not Half-Life 3.
Yeah. I wonder if people... I mean, was the main vibe people just super disappointed?
No, people are pretty excited for more Half-Life, but there is that undercurrent of people being like, this is another nail in the coffin of there's never going to be Half-Life 3. And I've known that. I've heard people talk about how there's been multiple attempts at Half-Life 3 inside of Valve, and none of them have gone anywhere. Like, There's so much fear of putting that game out, even working on it, so much pressure, and that no one there wants to make it.
Wow, that kind of sucks.
Because everyone that did make it left. Like,
yeah, right.
Like, the main people have left. A couple of the writers came back for Half-Life Alyx. Worked as contractors. Really? Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Chet Felzik, one other guy came back and helped write it.
And I guess that could still happen for 3 if they ended up wanting to do that or whatever.
Someone has to make it, though.
Yeah,
it's not even the writing, it's the people that want to, like, design that gameplay.
Right.
Like, what do you do? It's a pretty big legacy to live up to, and I can see how a lot of people would just be intimidated by it if they were stepping into those shoes. Especially now, when did Half-Life 2 come out? 2004? And then, like, Episode 2 came out in, like, 2009? So it's been, like, a decade since the last, like, storyline Half-Life stuff has come out.
Right. That's
so,
crazy.
Yeah, I just don't think... I think a lot of people will be terrified. If this does well, maybe it will shake things up. Where they're like, yeah, we can do this. We can make Half-Life 3. But yeah, no, that was the big news there. But that ties back into, like, Valve wants to push VR. They're done even dealing with HTC for the Vive. They're just making their own headsets and pushing their own software forward. And so I don't think they would ever partner with Google on a storefront. They'll just do it themselves.
I wonder if there's any other players that they would, if this didn't go the right way for them. Because the service, the infrastructure itself seems, for me at least, solid. I texted a few different people who said that their friends have had different experiences, but I think
I think about in that dev community I'm a part of, it's probably been about 20-ish people who've gotten theirs, and it's about a 50-50 if they're having a good experience or not. And it's very tight, and some of them aren't. And I should be honest, most of the ones that are having a bad experience are not in the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're having some problems internationally in different places. And then just talking to other people, I mean, you never know you actually, look at it this way, you know your home network. You've generally probably optimized your home network to be pretty nice and work well. A lot of people just don't. They'll set their Wi-Fi router on top of their microwave. Like, you never know what the last 10% of the way of that path of that data is going to be. And notoriously, people's home networks are terrible.
Top of a fucking microwave.
Oh, God, I've seen it.
I believe it. Oh, man.
Or just putting your router at, like, the lowest possible place in your house and going, like, why doesn't it work on the second floor that well? Like, there takes a lot to make Wi-Fi work well through a house, and that's the thing. Google's never going to solve that.
Yeah. The end user, what they're actually doing with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't solve the home network problem. So, and I think that's what a lot of people are saying is this, like, you need to have a consistent home network. Right. You don't have to be crazy about it. You just need to make sure that you have like wired or strong Wi-Fi signal from where you're playing at.
Yep. Yeah, I thought I would need to wire my Chromecast to get this thing to be optimal, and it's already optimal. Like, it feels optimal. I don't feel like I have to even plug in.
Yeah, probably not.
For now. And I'm in the same room on the couch as my router anyways.
Yeah, I don't think you have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know who would pick it. If this doesn't work out, someone else coming in. I don't think it would necessarily be Microsoft. They'll do their own thing. Sony is already doing their own thing.
Do you see Google sticking around with this thing, like to give it a good go, or do you think
I think they'll give it a good go.
Okay.
At least try. Mm-hmm. But I'd also worry that they'll see like, wow, our sales haven't been so great in a year, and then just start pulling back.
Yeah, right.
Because honestly, I don't. Well, it's cool. I see this technology being much more successful in about 5 years. In general, like I just don't see mass market penetration of this yet.
Right.
It's just going to take time, and I just don't know how committed some of these companies are to sticking it out for that long.
Yeah, I don't think it can have mass market penetration because, comparing it to the main competitor, which would be, in my mind, PS4, Xbox, like you can put a PS4 or Xbox in any house in the country, and as long as they can eventually download the file or whatever, or just put the disc in, they can play. Versus Stadia is so dependent on the internet connection that is shitty in so many parts of our country.
Yeah.
That, the big cities like San Francisco, San Diego, Seattle, whatever, big cities, the internet's probably going to be fine. But otherwise, outside of those centers,
you can get pretty sketchy.
Yep. So you're cutting off that many people from your service.
And then it comes down to like going into some of these mass market people getting it and just getting like, oh, look at this cool new game thing. And not knowing exactly how it works, and having those people that just have crap networks, and they're trying to use this thing, and it's not working well. Do they blame their network, or do they blame Google?
Right.
Probably blame Google, and you start getting a bad word of mouth from these people. Like, that thing doesn't work. What are you talking about?
Even the people who bought the founders right now are kind of having a little bit of a bad word of mouth because of those features that are missing.
Yeah.
Because the things that were promised aren't there. Because the controller's fucking black.
You and your controllers, man.
I need blue controllers, man. Fuck.
Deal breaker.
It is too hard to ask, man. Oh, man. Oh, hey, heads up, speaking of. For some reason, my recorder is no longer working. It said I ran out of disk space, which is not true. But it crashed and is not recording. So good thing you have a backup.
I do have a backup.
This is why we have backups, folks.
Yes.
every once a year, man.
That's funny. Are you?
Yeah.
Bye-bye hard drive space.
It said error, run out of disk space, and crashed. And I just went and checked through my disk space, and I have at least a couple gigs on all my drives. So, not sure what happened there.
Okay. Yeah, I totally have a recording happening right now.
Thank you.
No problem.
Another question from Brad, which is a totally a 180 from where we're at. So if you have anything else about Stadia or where it's going, we can wrap up there. Good. Okay, cool. He said, locked in a room, you've got a list of games. I said 5. What would it be?
All right, let's go. Diablo 2, Final Fantasy Tactics, Master of Orion 2, Slay the Spire, new one, and Witcher 3.
What was the middle one you said?
Master of Orion 2.
What is that?
Space 4X. Just older.
Okay.
To me, it's the epitome of like the perfect Space 4X game that came out in like 96.
Wow. We're digging deep for that one.
I'm like, that's a game I will just play over and over and over and over again.
It's kind of endlessly replayable, right?
Yeah, like the first 4 there are endlessly replayable. Witcher 3, I just figure I could play enough to get enough time out of.
Right, yeah. I think I put 200 hours into that game. So,
yeah, it's big enough and expansive enough that I could play it multiple different ways and could fit it in between long stretches of these other games. But yeah, they're effectively completely replayable games. Because if I'm going to be locked in a room and I just get to play only those things, that's what I'm playing. I don't want a game where I finish the story and be like, well, cool, I just get to play that again. No, not really.
I was going to put a joke game on my list, but I can't remember the fucking name of it right now. But it's the one that we both played for our video game book club, and now you get hentai, whatever, in your Steam scroller.
Doki Doki Literature Club.
Thank you. That's it. It's kind of a bad joke about
God damn it. Stupid Steam.
Obviously, top of my list is Witcher 3. Just playing, with all the DLC, obviously.
Yeah.
The amount of content that's there is staggering. And the choices you can make and how things change. You have the 3 major endings, but then some sub-endings along the way. I would chose Diablo 3 instead of Diablo 2, just because of the, what's it called? The things they changed to make it feel better. Ease of use,
quality of life?
Thank you, that's it. Man, my brain is not working. Quality of life improvements, I think, in Diablo 3 make it the choice for me. Although it'd be nice to see Diablo 2 brought up to that level. But did you read that interview this last week with David Brevik and a couple of people who said they lost all the code and had to recreate it? So for them to redo Diablo 2 would basically be them doing it from scratch.
Yeah, which I figured would probably be the case for the most part anyway.
It still sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
Witcher 3, Diablo 2, and Mass Effect 2 would be on my list.
That was also very close to be on my list. I just couldn't play it that many more ways.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as replayable as I want. Like, it is, but I mean, it's a 30-hour game that I probably play, 3 times, 3 different ways. There's pretty clear progressions through that one.
And I only played it once, so there's still more for me to discover. And then 2 more one that I played a bit of but didn't finish, and I think would be good for this is Persona 5.
Yeah.
That'd be a good excuse for me to get through that game, and I think it's replayable in some sense because of the different confidants and whatever else. Maybe the Royale edition, I don't know.
There you go.
Then the last one, the replayable game that I played a little bit of that was fun, but I think would be really good for this context, kind of like your 4X game, is Civ 5.
Yeah, I thought it was either Master of Orion 2 or Civ 5.
Yeah.
I just like space, so.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't, so.
There you go.
Yeah, that's where we diverge. So every once in a while I think about space, and it just scares the shit out of me. It really scares me. To think about being on the moon.
The scale is insane.
Yeah, no, I would go insane. It would drive me nuts.
Actually, that's one of the things I've always wondered, that terrifying you. Reading The Expanse must be hard sometimes.
It is.
Because they really, really explain kind of the scale that is space.
Right. And it's terrifying.
Yeah, you're terrified. I'm like, that's so cool.
No way. If I were up on the moon and just saw Earth and everything beyond it, and I would probably go insane. It would be awful. That's just my personal fear.
There you go.
Oh man. So those are the games I'd play. I think there'd be a lot there.
Yeah.
To play. So I thought about Overwatch or something like that, where it's just endlessly replayable multiplayer, but it's all it's shallow experience, although it's fun. So
yeah, actually, there you go. That's very telling about me. None of them are multiplayer games. I mean, I could co-op Diablo 2 if I wanted to.
Right. Yeah, mine are all.
I just don't want. I'm just like, no, I don't want. If I'm trapped in a room, I don't want to touch. I don't want to talk or see anybody.
Yeah.
Which is very telling, I'm sure.
You're a hermit.
A little bit.
Missing the throat.
I do live on an island.
That's true.
People can't
you chose
get to me.
To be on an island.
I did.
So why don't we talk about the game you've been playing this week?
Yeah,
I think it's probably one.
It has been one. I mean, I can say I've played. So the story of my week actually is, I weirdly had a mechanical hard drive still. I had a solid state hard drive as a boot drive, partial drive in my PC, and a solid state, and an old mechanical terabyte drive, which was fine. It started making horrible sounds on
oh really?
Monday, not good sounds. So I quickly ordered a new SSD and transferred everything over onto another SSD on Wednesday. But in that time, I lost a bunch of my, weirdly the Game Pass, I didn't know where save files and how that all worked, where it was installing games. I didn't check on them, so I lost a bunch of progress in a bunch of games, one of which was Slay the Spire. So I played a bunch of Slay the Spire again.
To get back to where you were.
To get all my progress back. So, Slay the Spire, I still love it. It is my card game of choice. Just try to make the most broken combination of things you possibly can. It's great.
Despite the art, you're still there.
Oh yeah, despite the art. Actually, that's the thing about it. I actually like the actual like 2D art, not great, but the actual like gameplay feedback art, like particles and floating text, and like there's tons of just like in-your-face feedback art that is fantastic.
Oh, that's nice.
It like just feels very tactile when you're playing it. Everything responds very nicely.
Right.
A lot of weight to the actual like things that you're doing. But man, the actual 2D art, just not my style. But before that, over the weekend, I played a crap ton of Fallen Order. Actually, Monday. I think I beat it Monday. Yeah, after record, I beat it Monday. I love that game. I want more of it right now.
Really? You like it that much?
The end was so good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I won't spoil. I don't want to spoil anything for you. But I just can say, like, it just builds as the game goes on, and, like, probably the last half of it, you start just really buying the main character, Cal's, like, journey. Like, you actually see lots of character growth out of him. And it's amazing, and it's so cathartic to see him deal with all the trauma that he's had. Right. And that's like an undercurrent through all the characters that you meet, especially of the younger generation, is the game really shows you about them dealing with the traumas inflicted on them by the previous generation. And having that previous generation, because of their choices, has hurt this newer generation. And how do they handle it? And they show like all the sides of it, the anger, frustration, lashing out, to eventually facing it, facing the fears, and moving past it to something else. And it was amazing. Like, the thematic through line is great. And they sell it, and it works. And, what planets have you been to? You're on Zepho. So that's the only one you've gone to so far?
Pagano and Zepho.
Zepho. Yep. You didn't go to Dathomir yet.
Not yet. That's like the hell planet, isn't it? Kind
of, yeah. Dathomir's not a fun place. I mean, it's cool from a gameplay standpoint, but you're like, God, this place is terrifying. And Dathomir is a planet that has a bunch of lore in Star Wars anyway. It was in the Clone Wars a lot, I believe. Yeah. Zepho is a new world. Dathomir is a world that has a bunch of already previous canon lore associated with it. So I chose to go to Dathomir first. Cause I was like, give me all the Night Sister lore.
Cause I was wondering about that, because when we talked, you're like, one is in the canon, one's a new one. And I was like, I don't fucking know which one's which.
Yep. But you meet a character there, and then later on, like in the last, like, probably 3 hours of the game, you really get to meet her a lot more, and she's the most amazing character ever.
Oh, wow.
Holy crap. I love that character so much. One, it's just great writing, but the voice actress's performance and the animation is amazing with her. Like, the way that I don't know, you have to get to the point in the game where you're seeing, like, the way they animate her eyes and just, like, whole facial movement, conveys so much emotion. Like, to the point where the dialogue doesn't have to be so exposition heavy. The actual 3D model and facial features can convey the emotions and thoughts. It was so good. I loved it. I love that character. Absolutely love her. And I want a whole game of her.
You think that's possible, considering where the story ended?
There could be more for this with these characters. It's a nice bow on this story. If they never touch these characters again, it's fine. But it definitely leaves it open for other adventures.
Right.
But this storyline that you're on right now is very much done at the end of this game.
That's nice. So it kind of feels like a one and done, for lack of a better term, I guess.
Yeah. But it was just a really good story overall.
That's nice to hear, because the exploration is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like the looping back around and opening the shortcuts is just so satisfying.
Yeah. I mean, the levels are Zepho is huge. It's a really big level. And yeah, everything loops around in it really well. And I don't know if have you gone into like the drilling area of Zepho, where they've been drilling like a...
No, I've been to the turbine area.
there'll be a player. There's like a big cavern in the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like different elevators up to different parts of the level.
Oh no, I have not been there yet.
And like unlocks crazy shortcuts that way. But that level is really huge, and there's the tomb there that you're going to look for. Which you'll...
That's where it turns into Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I mean, you'll be doing... Uncharted more.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of puzzles and things like that.
I always wonder who set the puzzles in the world.
This one, lore-wise, says it's the Zepho.
Yeah.
The race that put these two... Like, this is where they entombed them, and they put these ancient puzzles and trials if anybody wanted to discover them and learn their secrets. So,
right.
In this game, they've set the lore. That's why it's there. This race didn't. But, I mean, overall, I'm super happy with the game. You could tell that there were still some issues with the new engine. There's a couple pieces in different places that are, I would say, more nitpicks than anything with, I don't know, there was like weird judder when starting in-game cutscenes sometimes for me, or like a bad frame, which is a very Unreal Engine thing. So I think they're working through that. I think the combat could be a little bit more fine-tuned.
I think so too.
It's fine. Loose. It's fine enough, but it's not. It could be better and still work on it better.
For me, it's the camera and the switching around to the different characters or the different enemies that you're facing. It just feels a little bit not as tight. I think the main thing is, and I was discovering it yesterday, like I'll tap the right stick to move the camera, and then it'll be like maybe a fourth of a second, and then it'll move. And it's a noticeable pause, and it's just like, that's just slightly annoying to me. And I was trying to figure out how to fix that, and I couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like stick sensitivity or whatever, but it wasn't.
That's weird.
I think that's the thing that's driving me nuts in the combat too, is it just feels a little bit unresponsive.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, in combat, most of the time I was locked on, and so I wasn't manually controlling my camera.
Yeah. But it's fun. It does remind me of the fun that I have with Uncharted. And if I cared about Star Wars lore, I would be just digging it like crazy. But so far, it's good.
Yeah.
I think that extra level would make it great.
Yeah, it totally does, because it's a really good Star Wars story.
Yeah.
God, I'm getting so much good Star Wars right now. It's amazing.
Well,
Mandalorian is fantastic. I don't even think if it's a Star Wars fan, you have to think it's It's just fantastic, like television.
I was in faculty senate. I'm a faculty senator, and one other person was talking about Mandalorian. I was like, "Oh yeah, my friend talking about you. He's talking about it, likes it, all this stuff." I'm just a little confused. Is Mandalorian, is that a plural noun or is that a singular noun? He's like, "Oh, it's a race. Do you know Boba Fett?" I'm like, "Yeah, I guess I've heard of him." He was just like, looked at me like he just was so pitiful, like had so much pity for me.
Yeah, a little bit. But Boba Fett wasn't a Mandalorian, though.
Oh, really?
He had the armor, but I mean, we learn in the prequels that he was, it was his clone of Jango Fett's
armor, right?
Yeah, but you kind of learn that his dad, Jango Fett, is the, blueprint for all the clones. That's who they use, but I can't remember if Jango Fett was actually a Mandalorian, like an actual born on Mandalore planet Mandalorian.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
I want to say it's not. It's a really kind of weird technical thing.
Is it like the Han Solo who shot first thing?
Well, that's just because they've changed the scene.
I see.
And they changed the scene again with the 4K ones on Disney Plus.
They changed it back, or
no.
Like a third option?
There was a third that eventually got changed where they basically both shoot at the same time.
Oh, I see.
But there was another scene added in, and it has Greedo, the guy shooting at him, the alien, who it's not subtitled, because normally his speech, whatever he's talking, is subtitled.
Right.
Before he shoots, he goes, "McClunky," and then shoots. And it's not subtitled, and that's not there before, and we call it the McClunky edit. People online have just been running with this thing. And what it's come out is that Disney didn't do this. This is actually George Lucas changing it again.
Oh,
back, because whenever they got... These are done off a version of A New Hope, Empire, and Jedi that George Lucas was working on for potential 3D run of the films around 2010 or so, 2009. So yeah, he had made more changes to the movies.
Oh man,
but
just stop tinkering, man.
I know at some point, but we get McClunky.
That's a weird thing. Is that relevant in any way?
People have tracked it down to think like because it's like said in one scene of The Phantom Menace. There's a character that uses the same term, and it's basically a threat that I'm going to kill you.
Oh, okay. Just like Bib Fortuna, like he just like put stupid words together to make names for characters and shit.
Pretty much, and you're like, okay. It's super weird, and yeah, people were just surprised. They're like, seriously, this scene has changed again? Are you just trolling us at this point? Because that's kind of what it feels like. Is it just like trolling the fans by changing that scene constantly?
Why not? You guys fucking hate the prequel, so I'm gonna fuck with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh man, that's funny.
So yes, no. A Mandalorian can be is a singular. Mandalorians is the plural. Mandalore is the world that they are from.
Aha.
They are a human species, basically.
I feel so enlightened now.
And yes, the Mandalorian, the TV show, is very much a samurai western TV show. Just wrapped in a Star Wars veneer, but...
I had forgotten that Pedro Pascal was the main character.
And he never takes off his mask. And he can... I don't know how they do it in the show, but you so quickly come to care for that main character, even though you never see his face, and he very rarely talks, and it's short sentences, but the way that he moves his body, it's like so much body performance into it, and how he moves his visor and mask that you're just like, I'm like, how are you conveying all this emotion? But he does. He's fantastic.
That's what I heard today on a podcast talking about how people are upset that he didn't take off his mask, but the way that he just emotes himself is just like, he doesn't need to.
No, and I assume at some point he will take... Why do you hire Pedro Pascal to be the person behind this mask if you don't eventually plan to take off the helmet?
Right.
Like, it's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
So, I assume it will. Like, they've done a number of things where I feel like it's the Chekhov's gun setups of... Yeah. Have you ever taken off your mask? No. Anyone else ever taken it off? No. I'm like, if you're going to straight up ask that, sometime in the future, it's going to come off.
Yeah. Right.
Like, and that's the one thing the show, even in 3 episodes, has done, is it pays off every setup that it puts out there. Like, it's just great storytelling. And I appreciate that, because so many shows do not do their payoffs well.
No, they don't, and it's just supremely frustrating.
Yeah, or you think something is a setup, but it's not. It's just like, they're like, why did you show that if you're not going to do anything with it?
Sounds like you're talking about Lost right now.
Yeah, Lost is a big one. But the show does. It's like, if it focuses on something, it seems to always come back around to why that's important.
Right.
So, yes, I'll stop gushing about it.
No, I'm waiting for school to get out so that I can watch it over the break, so...
Yeah, it should be roughly all of it out by then. I will say that the first 3 episodes are like one mini movie, basically. It's 3 chapters.
Like linked together.
It's 3 chapters, so 3 acts.
Yeah.
And it's the 4th episode is going to be directly linked as well, but it feels like that arc, the first 3 episodes, is like one 3-act story structure.
Yeah.
And could just be, you could take out all the transitions between episodes and just make it a movie and it'd be fine. So, yeah, it's really good. I can't believe the quality of content we have at our fingertips right now.
There's so much pretty darn good stuff,
Yeah, from all mediums right now. It's insane.
Yeah, right. It's, video games, movies, TV.
Books.
Books, music. It is insane.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, anything else on our topics tonight?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thanks for taking us through Stadia. Moving on to the Jedi Fallen Order. Next week, I'm not sure there's any big stuff coming out at the end of November. We'll be talking about Black Friday, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy
there's
sales
all the
and shit.
We should also talk about the Game Award nominations.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we'll
before those, because I think the show's in the middle of December. Like
I thought 12th.
Maybe it's the first week.
First half of December. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll definitely hit on those next week. That's a great idea. All right, well, that's been episode 219 of Prof and Dev Play Games. He is at Summerspeak. I am at Prof Plays Games. If you like our show, please rate us on your podcast service of choice and check us out on Patreon at Prof and Dev, or search Prof and Dev Play Games. We will be back next week.
Yeah, sounds good.